Facebook Live, man. I came back. I'm back from Atlantic City. I just landed in Indianapolis. I left early this morning with Tito, one of my buddies. Got a ride to Atlantic City. It's funny because you're gonna get you think you're getting in the plane. You're gonna come see. The airport, and you come. So here's what happened: you fly into Atlantic City. They have a bus that picks you up and takes you to Philadelphia, and then from Atlantic City you get a bus. Actually, it looks like your flight as you go to the airport, and it drives you to the Philadelphia airport, and that's where we flew out for today. I just flew in from Philadelphia. I'm just in, and I'm going to show some things that I got for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame coming up May the 19th and 20th, and it's going to be a knockout. So right now we're at my house. I put my little office back here and some of my stuff. So I was at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and I want to congratulate Ray McCline, Rob Scott, all the people with Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. They put on a tremendous show. I'm going to tell you that right now. They give us a great show. Atlantic City, where they come alive, and amazing event for this weekend, and I want to thank them, Ray McCline and all of them. Thank you for the event this weekend. It was amazing. It's not every day that I get to hang out with Roberto Duran, so he's a special person for me because I know exactly what he went through in his movie Hands of Stone, and I know what he's meant to boxing. So obviously I got some Roberto Duran stuff. So here's what I got when I went to Atlantic City. I spent about $600, champ. Hey, Rich, thanks for watching. Thanks, Henry, for watching. So I got a 2X large Michael Nunn T-shirt. We're gonna auction that off. 2X. All right, and then I'm gonna just show you some stuff that I got when I was there. All right, so I got, my boy Keith Boggs. Keith Boggs, this will be yours. It's the Atlantic City program. And in my gift bag, because I paid $500 for an unlimited ticket to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, and I paid I don't know how much money for, that's not even counting my room, and I paid I don't know how much for the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame VIP. So when I was VIP, obviously I got a couple things. So I got a little Hard Rock gifts that they put in this bag, and I got a couple lighters so I can light my bar on fire, I guess. And then I got a little thing here, Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I got a little Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And then I got a T-shirt from Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And it's got all the inductees on the back, which was amazing, And then, I got my Hard Rock bag. And that's the stuff that I got for, paying in advance, being on VIP, paying for all the event. I don't want anything free. That's the way I feel. So here's another thing. Since I hung out with Roberto Duran, I got this autographed glove from Roberto Duran. Now, I don't know if I auctioned it off once. I don't think I'm going to auction it off this time. I'm going to keep this for myself. This is Roberto Duran's glove. But what I am going to auction off from Roberto Duran is pretty special. Got some signed trunks from Roberto Duran. Yeah, these things are badass, man. Hello, how we doing, champ? All right. Hello, Henry. Great to see you. We're gonna auction it off. Danny the Little Red Lopez autograph signature. We're gonna auction it off. All right, so I have 4 Mike Tyson's gloves, and I'm gonna auction off 2 of Mike Tyson's gloves. One's gonna be black, just like this, Mike Tyson signed. You got it? And then I got another one, Mike Tyson signed. And one's red, one's black. So I have 4 Mike Tyson gloves signed legitimately. Obviously, you see me there. We're going to auction this off. Iran Barkley and Tommy Hearns. We're going to auction it off. Another thing I'm going to auction off, okay? I'm thinking about giving this to Keith. This is Danny Little Red Lopez's autograph. You know, he's a big Danny Little Red Lopez. So this is Danny Little Red Lopez and Ruben Olivares. And in 1976, in a sold-out stadium in Los Angeles, California, they put on a hell of a show. Two great featherweights, two great fighters that fought each other. And I got both their autographs. I'm going to auction that off, okay? That's going to be at auction for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. 1976, fighting for the title, Ruben Olivares and Danny Little Red Lopez. What a great weekend to see those gentlemen, and you know, I love them. And of course, my favorite is Michael Spinks. You know, I'm a big Michael Spinks fan. That's the first person I met there, and him and Flo, and I had a great weekend with them. As obviously Michael Spinks is a big star, so you know, this is a Michael Spinks autograph when he won the heavyweight championship, defended his title against Jerry Cooney, and I'm going to auction that off. That's going to be auctioned off. Another one is going to be auctioned off is his Michael Spinks when he made the Hall of Fame at the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1994. All right, so I have a friend, and his name is on Facebook is Pryor. There's a Pryor now out there, okay? And have you ever heard of Aaron Pryor? This is a signed autograph from Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor. And I'm going to auction this off at the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame May 19th and 20th. I'm auctioning this off. It is a signed Aaron Pryor and signed Alexis Arguello. That's going on auction. Along with that, Roberto Duran trunks. Ray Mercer, 1988 gold medal WBO heavyweight world champion, 1988. That is going to go for auction. All right, and then the only thing I might auction is this Sports Illustrated Roberto Duran. I had that signed from the champ, Roberto Duran. Now, I spent about $600, but boy, did I have fun spending $600. Yeah, I sure did. You know, and I want to congratulate all the inductees that got inducted this year. Frank the Animal Fletcher, Pat Lynn. I mean, there were so many great people that got inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame this year. Kathy Duva. I mean, there's so many that did great things. I got to see James Toney. What a great honor it was to see James Toney. Eddie Ariano, Cut Man. James Broad, ex-Broad. God rest his soul. You know, what a great fighter he was. Harold Letterman. I mean, HBO boxing, that's the first thing I think of. Atlantic City was big back in the 70s and 80s. It was like the Mecca of boxing. If you was a star, you went there. And what a great event. I want to thank TK Boxing Promotions for the ad that they put into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And I want to congratulate Frank the Animal Fletcher, who I think fought for Russell Peltz. And Russell, moved him up. And he was never in a bad fight, Frank the Animal Fletcher. Never in a bad fight. What a great fighter. I even believe he knocked out Sammy Naismith from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's how good Frank the Animal Fletcher was. And we put him into the 2022 class of Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Dave Tibier. What a great champion he was. It was great to see him. It was great to see his book. It's great to see all the great things that he's doing and how he's moved on and been successful outside of there. There's Chuck. And I can't pronounce his last name, but what a great fighter he was from Atlantic City, and I want to congratulate Chuck. All these great people getting into the Hall of Fame there at Atlantic City. I want to thank the Fighters Heavens for putting an ad out. They did a great stuff. Jeff McClure, Hillcrest, Indiana. I love you, brother, man. You got it. I don't forget. And the Heavens, it was there at Atlantic City, and I got to talk to the Heavens Haven, and what a great night it was. Russell Peltz was there selling his book. $30, and a cut eye. What a great memory this stuff is. What great stuff that I found. Now, so that's great stuff that I'm putting on the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame memorabilia. I'm going to grab some stuff right now and show you what else I'm going to put on there. So I'm going to sliply through here, but you'll be able to see my little office thing right here. Okay. I'm going to auction off one of these, a Don King signed glove when I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm going to keep one of these Don King gloves that ain't going nowhere. And there's the third Mike Tyson glove that I got. I have 4. I think I'm only going to auction off 2. All right. But how about a Don King signed autograph right there? We're thinking about auctioning this off against Larry Holmes versus Oliver McCall. Yeah, well, that's for auction as well. And then my 2 favorite ones, of course, is Michael Spinks on Sports Illustrated. In 1985, he moved up and challenged Larry Holmes for the Heavyweight World Championship. And at that time, Larry Holmes was 48-0, getting ready to tie Rocky Marciano's record. And Michael Spinks upset him for the heavyweight world champion. I think he was the first light heavyweight to ever move up and successfully won the heavyweight championship. Now, granted, there's been middleweights back in the old days that have moved up and did some great things. But for his era, Michael Spinks is, in my opinion, is the greatest light heavyweight to ever live. And then I'm going to auction off this picture between Michael Spinks and Larry Holmes. Now, Michael Spinks will be at the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame this year at 2003, May 19th and 20th, as long and his nephew Corey Spinks, who's being inducted into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame as well. I want to say Ray McCline, what a great weekend that we had, and I want to congratulate all the inductees for getting into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm out there and. The first 2 days were right off the chain. I mean, it starts right off the top, and a lot of people are asking about the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame and when it is and when's it coming on and what's happening. It's going to be May the 19th and the 20th, okay? Ray Boom Boom Mancini will lead the way. Now, there are some inductees, okay, that for example, that I find when you get to the highest level that some of them do not show. And that's kind of disappointing to the fans, which I can understand. For example, Julio Cesar Chavez did not show up. Hello, how you doing, champ? From Washington, D.C. All right. Okay, all right. It was great to hear from you. You got, for example, Julio Cesar Chavez did not show. Lennox Lewis did not show. There was another one was Kevin Rooney didn't show because he suffered from dementia. Now, Vinny Pazienza was there, and Vinny Pazienza and his son spoke for Kevin Rooney, which was, exciting. So a lot of big stars, a lot of great things going on this weekend, and you'll be able to see all my pictures. Somebody hacked into my account. It kicked me out of Facebook. I was suspended for a day, So I had to show them that proof that who I was and pop back in there and do the positive things and bounce back. So yesterday I couldn't go as many Facebook Lives as I want. Now the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, I have a YouTube channel. It's Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. It's YouTube. It has over 45,000 views, and I started it in 2020, and I didn't start it to make money. That was never my goal. I didn't start to do any of this to really make money. It come from the heart, So I've been doing the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. This is year 6 that's going on. We had our 5-year anniversary last year. We put in so many great people and have honored so many great champions. And that's one thing I like to do is go to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. I like to go to the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I like to go to the National Boxing Hall of Fame. I like to go to the West Coast Boxing Hall of Fame. I like to see everybody being inducted. I like seeing people being recognized for all the hard work and honor that they did. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the high school basketball picture on the wall of all conference player and stuff, but you know, in my opinion, that's just average stuff, okay? When you go to the highest level and you're in Atlantic City, all right, and you're on the boardwalk and you walking through there and everybody's stopping talking to you because you're a great fighter, because you represent something from Indiana, because you did something in a positive way. You know, that's one thing I got to say about Ray McCline. He did a great job. And another one, Rich Murat. When I was at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, I went Facebook Live, I don't know how many times. And I went Facebook Live until they kicked me off there at, they kicked me off in the, you know, on Facebook. I went Facebook Live, but, you know, I went Instagram Live a couple times just because I could go Instagram Live. I had Tim Witherspoon's daughter walk me through it. But, you know, I had a great time there in Atlantic City. I want to congratulate all the inductees in 2019 Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame's coming on. So the rest of the month, what I have scheduled is obviously I'm going to come down to WTRE and I'm going to speak with Sandy and we're going to talk about, is that a Duran there? Well, Duran, I'm going to tell you right now, man, he blew up the show. What a great people. Roberto Duran, 103, 16, 70 knockouts, something like that in his career. 82-1 when he started out as a lightweight. I mean, you can't beat some of that stuff that Roberto Duran did and where he came from. And and here's the thing: his trainer Ray Arcells is from Terre Haute, Indiana. I mean, how can we not put him in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame? And I've been thinking, all right, here's what I think. I'm going to say this to Duran, is anytime Duran's ready, I'll fly over to Panama City and put Roberto Duran as a celebrity guest in, and I'll put in Ray Arcells right there on the spot, and we'll fly to Panama just like we did Felix Trinidad, Puerto Rico, and we'll put him in the Hall of Fame. That's how important he means and what he means to boxing in this world. He's the greatest lightweight to ever live. Felix Trinidad, his dad made him a world champion, and he wanted to be inducted in any of the Hall of Fames. And none of the other Hall of Fames would put him in as a father-son duo. But I promised him I would, because there's Felix Trinidad's dad taking his son and turning him into a world champion. All right? And none of that's easy. And they come from poverty backgrounds. Just don't come from privilege where your mom and dad's paying for your cars and paying for your houses and paying for you this, that, and the other. And then, bragging every weekend at the sports bar. My kid did this, my kid did that. I'm like, look, man, Mike Tyson, 50-6, 44 knockouts. I'm going to tell you how much money his mom and dad gave him, okay? It's about as much money as I got, okay? So he got nothing. So I'm going to try and explain that to people, that these guys don't come from privilege. These guys don't come from that type of background. These guys come from very hard, and that's where the champions are made, in the gym, and they're from hard. And Tito Bitch started training when he's a young kid and ends up being a world champion. There's Roberto Duran. He's starving on the streets. He's dancing on the streets for money. And look at him now, where he's at now. So if you want to shine like a diamond, you got to get cut like a diamond. And those guys were definitely cut. And we had a great event at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm going to say it again. Roberto Duran is the greatest lightweight to ever live. And if you know about it, in 1980, he moves up 2 weight divisions from 140. He jumps over that and goes to 147 and challenges Sugar Ray Leonard and gave Sugar Ray Leonard his first loss of his career. And then, they had the rematch. And after Duran won, he, obviously thought he was, could have been, Superman at that time in his hometown. He didn't think he could lose. So he ate and he drank and he had a good time, and he probably went up and down Panama City, and he probably, got about 30 pounds overweight, and then they offered him an $8 million rematch against Sugar Ray Leonard and Louisiana, and he come back and he fought Sugar Ray, and that's when, there was the no mas. But then, here's a guy that doesn't quit. He doesn't quit on himself. He don't quit on his family. He don't quit on nobody. There's a guy that comes back and wins in 1983. He wins the junior middleweight world championship, knocking out Davey Moore in Madison Square Garden, and he's back to top dog. Then he struggled. He got knocked. The only time he ever got knocked out was by Tommy Hearns. But then he moves up in 1989. He challenges Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. At Atlantic City, he challenges Iran Barkley for the middleweight world championship. And there he pulls another upset out of his hat and upsets as a middleweight. And he moves up another weight class. I mean, that's 2 more weight classes. So he goes 135, 147, 154, and 160. He's 4-division world champions. Now, these are real belts, okay? I'm going to explain to you the real belts. Some of these belts people are talking about don't even exist anymore, okay? So here's the real belts. The WBA goes back to 1921. It was actually the NBA, and then they switched it over to the WBA. That's the picture of me and Roberto Duran today with that WBA belt. That's the oldest belt in boxing history. It goes back to 1921. WBC, that goes back to 1963. Okay, WBC. I'm going to the WBC convention with Mauricio Suleiman, Jose Suleiman, Muhammad Ali are inductees into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame this way, along with Aaron Snowell, along with Larry Donald, along with David Tua, Ray Mancini. We got a great class coming in there this year. And obviously myself, I'm getting inducted in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. I'll take the honor and I'll move on. But I'm going to be honest with you, I get more enjoyment out of putting other people in the Hall of Fame than I even do myself. And I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? And then we go up there. We're going to have a phenomenal time. That's going to be off the chain this year. It's going to be. I'm talking to Russell Peltz, and we're talking about I'm talking about round 8 with Marvin Johnson and freaking Matthew Saad Muhammad, who was Matthew Franklin at the time. And round 8 was the fight, round of the year. You know what I'm saying? Them guys, the way they went at each other, Marvin and Marvin and Matthew Franklin, what great fighters they were. So that was Russell Peltz's greatest sign, he thought, was signing Marvin Johnson. And obviously they'll go down in history together, because I got a picture of them at the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And that will go in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. That picture will last forever. Russell Peltz had his Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame ring on last night. I got a picture of it. It was exciting to see him there. Him and Fred Burns go back years together. Fred Burns was one of my mentors. He was one of my people that I watched promote boxing around here for, 40 years, and was successfully doing it in the Midwest, and that's not easy to do. Every Thursday we have our lunch, and Fred Burns does a phenomenal job. I mean, it's off the chain. It's way too much. So it's good stuff. So I was going to explain to you, so I'm talking to Russell Peltz, and I was like this. I can remember, he reminded me, but I can remember it being on TV. And he adds in, it was free TV. So in 1979, on the card, all right, 1979, we had Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez for the world title. And then in 1979, we had Marvin Hagler versus Vito Antuofermo, which ended up in a draw. There's for the middleweight world championship. And then we had, for the light heavyweight championship, we had Victor Galindez versus Marvin Johnson. And Marvin Johnson knocked out Victor Galindez in round 11. And there was another guy on that undercard as well, as some guy named Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Hey, man, how we guys doing today? I can't really see with my eyes, man. Everything's good. Yeah, thanks, Tito, for saying I belong in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. I belong there for 2 reasons. One, because I've taken the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame and taken it to another level as far as the state. And I'm more proud of that than I am anything. I also had 47 fights in the state of Indiana, 47. And I want to say it right now. I want to shout out to the town of Greensburg, even though, my class reunion wasn't able to make it. And, there's some words said to me that, I took personal. But without my town of Greensburg, putting me on the map and helping me with Fred Burns and promoting myself, I don't know if I would have got where I'm at today. So, yeah, I will be on WTRE, and I will speak, on behalf. Because I remember my very first show with Hugh Miller in 1989. Fred Burns promoted a show in Greensburg, Indiana. I had 9 boxing shows in Greensburg, Indiana. I went 12 rounds 3 times. So That's not easy. Just going 12 rounds is not easy. And Fred's like, okay, well, you lost a couple of times in Indiana. Well, guess what? This is boxing. You can lose. You can get upset. Football, we don't know who's going to win. Guess what? That's why we play the games. This is Monday Night Football. We don't know who's going to win tonight. If we knew, we'd put that big money there. I want to congratulate John Johnson and his trainer, Buster Douglas's trainer. They're both going in. JD, that is his uncle. They're all coming in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame this year because it's history. Buster Douglas has the biggest upset in boxing history. He's 42-1 underdog, and he hasn't been in any Boxing Hall of Fame. In 2020, I put him in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Now, JD belongs with him, and so does the manager, John Johnson. Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, I'm after the history. And they had the biggest upset in boxing history. There's no doubt about it. And we didn't do him any favors. He fought Rick Enos, Buster Douglas, when he fought here in Indiana. We put him in with Rick Enos, a football player from IU who went pro for Denver, and then he tore his ACL and was done. You know, a good fighter there. And we throw him in with another guy who's like 13-2. We tried to get him beat twice. So we didn't do him favors. I want to hear about we did him favors. Buster Douglas is one of the greatest has the greatest upset in boxing history. But I want to congratulate all inductees for the Atlantic City Boxing Hall. I want to congratulate Rob Scott, Ray McCline, all my Facebook friends. You know, thank you so much for your support. It is nice to be called Mr. Indiana, don't get me wrong. But Fred Burns put boxing on the map here, and I've taken it to another level. And we're trying to do great things here in Indiana, and every Thursday we have lunch together. We are bringing in Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame guys. We're bringing anybody that fought here in Indiana is eligible for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. For example, there was a guy named Tracy Patterson. There was a guy named Floyd Patterson. In 1959, he defends the world title right here in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the fairgrounds against Brian London. That's my knowledge. That's how I know. So this weekend, I'm at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and here comes Tracy Harrison Patterson, who 5/16/89 fought with me on the card. He was the main event. He fought Kim Slim Jackson from Indiana, and he stopped him. Now, Tracy Harris Patterson's a 122-pound and 130-pound world champion straight up. And he fought in Indiana. Should he be in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame? Absolutely. So in 2024, Floyd Patterson and Tracy Patterson will lead the way for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Now, Ray Mancini leads it this year. And everybody goes, oh, you should hold it and announce them just like everybody else. No. That's what makes this original. I saw Atlantic City do the 9 count this year. And then they said that they're the only ones that don't hit the 10 counts because their memories keep on. Floyd Patterson's memory will keep going. He was a gold medal winner, and he was heavyweight world champion. He was trained by Customata. So Jose Torres, Floyd Patterson, and Mike Tyson, all Customata. Yeah. All those guys were world champions, were trained under the great Customata, who Kevin Rooney had some stuff to do with that, along with Teddy Atlas. We're great fighters, great trainers. Hey, man, everything's having a blessed day. I'm trying to see who I'm talking to, but I don't want to get off my role, on boxing. So, again, 1979. Sugar Ray Leonard, Wilfred Benitez, Marvin Hagler, Vito Antuofermo, Marvin Johnson, Victor Galindez. I mean, come on, man. And Tommy Hearns on the undercard. Get out of here. On free TV. Free TV. I hear it all the time. Oh, boxing's not the same. Boxing not the same. Obviously it's not the same because we're not going to give it away for free. Boxing pays twice as good as MMA. It's never going to die. This sport's been around over 100 years. It has 60 black eyes. This boxing, you're going to get some black eyes. You're going to get some cut. You're going to get cut. You're going to have some bad days, I remember one of the greatest lines I ever heard from Evander Holyfield. He says, look, they asked him in between rounds. They said, Evander, what's the matter with you today? He goes, the guy is hitting me back. And they said, well, welcome to boxing. That's how I felt when I was young. I was beating everybody when I was about 7 years old. And then I started getting a little bit older. And I was like, this ain't no fun. They're cracking me. But yeah, so again, May the 19th and May the 20th, 2003. Now, our event's going to be at the Embassy Suites. That's our new home. That's Embassy Suites there in Plainfield, Indiana. You can book your rooms anytime there. And again, David Tua, celebrity inductee, knocked out 4 heavyweight champions. He lost a decision against Lennox Lewis. He knocked out 4 heavyweight champions in his career. Yeah, he knocked out Chris Bird. He knocked out John Ruiz, the quiet man, brutally. I mean, knocked him out. Amaski, he knocked him out. He knocked out a lot of great fighters. So David Tua comes in, and then Larry the Legend Donald. Larry Donald, who was a national amateur champion. Larry the Legend beat Evander Holyfield. Larry the Legend is a legend, and he's coming in the Indiana Boxing. Them are my 2 celebrity inductees. Now, the celebrity inductee, Legend Hall of Fame inductee, just have to be big stars to do anything in boxing. The rest are pretty much had to fight here, or had to have something to do here, had to be born here. Ray Arcells is Terre Haute, Indiana. You know, Roberto Duran would come in as a celebrity. All these people can come in the Indiana Boxing Hall. And we don't forget our own. Christy Falmer's in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Angel Manfredi's in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Layman Brewster's in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Our list goes on over and over and over. We have put in some of the best fighters here in Indiana. You know, so I want to thank everybody for joining in today. I'm going to hit this and pop it up there today. But I'm supposed to go live with somebody from Europe, from the UK at 12 o'clock. And so I got to get off this phone and be ready for that interview with him. And we just kind of keep it going. Atlantic City, man, Atlantic City comes alive. It was an amazing event. The best time I thought I had was, well, you know, being on the red carpet, you know, I have to be very humble because I'll go to work and, you know, I'm bartending and some customer treats you like dog crap. You know what I'm saying? And everybody go, oh, how can you let, you know, and the people come in and start bossing you around. And, you know, sometimes you got to take that stuff because these managers, they've never, I don't think they spent a day in jail, but they come from different backgrounds, so they don't understand. And when you get pressured for 20 years, people treating you bad, you know right off the bat, sometimes you can snap, you know, so they don't understand that. So it's a little bit rougher. Yeah, so this year, the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, May the 19th and 20th, it's coming in. We're bringing everybody in, and we're going to have a big time at the. We're bringing the Jack Johnson exhibit back in. I saw a guy there from Indiana who does the gloves, and I'm thinking about giving him a call and talking to him about doing the gloves, bringing the gloves in. We're going to bring some gloves in there this year, some Everlast gloves. You can buy the gloves, and you can have the fans sign it. So, I mean, your superstars sign those gloves. So we're going to bring in some gloves this year, and you be part of it. But it's going to be a great event, great time. Thanks for the respect. Thanks for the love. Thanks for all the kind words that everybody had to say together. Yeah, Mary, I love you. I was just asking about you at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. I know you took another job, but, you know, I love you guys. I love Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, Steve Canton. I love all those people. I have go out there from one event to the next event, and I'm out chasing greatness and out chasing this boxing history that I started it when I was a little kid. There was a guy named Muhammad Ali or something. So I was at the Muhammad Ali camp, and I got Aaron Snowell take a picture of me and they're on the phone, and then one of Muhammad Ali on the phone, and I was inducting him into the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. Muhammad Ali was 56-5 with 37 KOs. He lost 5 fights in his career. The first fight he ever lost was to, again, Smoking Joe Frazier. All right. Then the second fight he lost was to Kenny Norton. And then his third fight he lost was to Leon Spinks. Now, it's going to get tricky from here because a lot of people lose track about that. But then he come back, and he should have retired. and he should have never fought Larry Holmes, and Larry Holmes gave him a beating. And then he fought a guy named Trevor Berbick that nobody gets. Maybe, I don't even know if John Scully can get this one, but since I told him he can get it. But they did not know, my Iceman did not know that Floyd Patterson and Brian London fought here in Indianapolis, Indiana at the fairgrounds. Floyd Patterson defended his heavyweight world title. Floyd Patterson was a gold medal winner, and he was one of Fred Burns' favorite fighters. So I called Fred Burns this year, and I said, look, 2014, Floyd Patterson, Tracy Patterson lead the way. And that's how we're going to do it, guys. We're going to leave it up big. We're going to leave it up big. Again, you saw all my memorabilia. Okay, this is auction off. Larry Holmes, auction, Michael Spinks autograph. Michael Spinks, cover of Sports Illustrated. Don King's autograph. They're going. A guy named Roberto Duran. Yeah, on cover of Sports Illustrated. He's only on there 8 times to my 0. Mike Tyson's on there 15 times. I'm supposed to be the 30th and the 29th with the brawl there, and I'll be glad to go. Jeff Clark. Loved you guys. I love you, Jeff. You know, I love you. Class of 1982. I apologize I could not be there to my class. I was at the Puerto Rican Sports Hall of Fame inducting a guy named Felix Trinidad, who I felt who was legendary. He wanted his dad to be recognized as a champion as well, and he wasn't. He should be inducted into a lot of Hall of Fames because Trinidad made his dad made him his son a world champion, and they should be very proud of it. And there's nothing better than getting on at the Capitol Center there in Puerto Rico, and signing autographs and giving the awards to Felix Trinidad Jr. and Sr. That was a special moment for Indiana Boxing Hall, special moment for everybody. At Puerto Rico, man. Puerto Rico, yes. We made Puerto Rico history. We make boxing history as we go. And, I'm very proud of Puerto Rico. We are thinking about doing a Puerto Rican International Boxing Hall of Fame. And when we do that, there in Puerto Rico, it's going to go off the chain because there's no fight fans like Puerto Rico, man. I got to show you again. This is Roberto Duran's signed trunks. They're on auction, man. They're on auction. Yeah, at the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, December. No, it's coming up May 19th and 20th. I'm going to try and get off there to guys. I got about 15 minutes. I got to go do another interview. But, hey, man, thanks, Ray McCline. Thanks, guys, for everything this weekend. An amazing event. And I also want to thank Rich Murat for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. And what an amazing event back-to-back. You can't get any bigger than the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Hanging on the red carpet with all those girls. It's like, man, this is a tough job. And then, with Nina Radcliffe. What a sweetheart she is. What a great person she is. She motivates people. She's beautiful. She's a model. She's a doctor. She does a lot of great things. And, she should inspire millions of people and take it in a positive way. Jeff Clark, class of 82, man. Thank you guys, man. Vincent Duffy. I remember Vincent Duffy, who is a patent lawyer. And he used to bartend, Vincent did. And he was talking about his days. And I was talking how some of them come in there and just treat you like dog crap. And he knew the feeling. He knew what was up. And I was like, man, I'm on the carpet signing autographs and for boxing, and then the next day somebody's treating you like dog crap. How do you deal with it? He's like, you got to overlook it. I said, it's kind of hard to do, but it is what it is. So Vincent, and I remember he was staying away from his wife and his family, and he was staying there, and they were working there in Indianapolis. And I remember calling his room. I said, hey, call his room. I act like I'm in the hotel. And I said, yeah, this is so-and-so at the front desk, and we need you guys to keep it down up there. You're saying way too loud. And he's like, I am? I really? Vincent, man, I love you guys. Hey, guys, have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. I got about 12 minutes. I'm going on an interview. God bless you guys. Thanks.